Hello, everybody. Marcos Villegas here in Las Vegas, being joined with the father of Shawn Porter, Ken Porter, and we're just a few weeks away from your son's fight against Danny Garcia for the WBC 147-pound title. Ken, let us know what you have been doing with Shawn in this camp, and really what's been the focus in preparing for Danny Garcia.
Up to this point, the focus has been on Shawn, just getting Shawn sharp, getting Shawn in that top fitness level of conditioning that he'll be able to throw non-stop punches for 12 rounds. And that's what we've been focusing on. We've been focusing on getting him ready. We haven't had chance. I mean, it's not that you're looking for a chance, but we haven't got to that point in the camp where we start working on a strategy for the guy that we're fighting. We're working on making sure Shawn is ready.
In terms of Danny Garcia and his style and what he brings to the ring and what we saw in his last few fights, most notably the Brandon Rios fight, what sticks out to you the most as a trainer that you guys can go in and really expose or really make him look vulnerable?
Okay, so this would be the This would be the 8th time I said this. I haven't had a chance to. I have not watched him.
Not yet.
I
But you're
don't.
familiar with him, obviously, because you've seen him live.
I've seen him live. I've never been impressed.
Never.
He's never been impressive to me.
Why?
I mean, how impressive are you? I thought he was in a tit-for-tat battle with Brandon until he caught Brandon. I thought that Amir Khan was beating him the whole entire way until he landed a punch. I thought the guy Herrera beat him and should have got a decision in Puerto Rico. I thought that he was going back and forth no, not Matisse. I thought he was going back and forth with Roberto in California when he fought for the WBC title. Roberto Guerrero, yes. I thought, he was right there, with him the whole entire fight. Again,
So I know they bring up that his resume is the best, one of the best resumes in boxing, if not the best. Do you think he's overrated then?
No, I'm not saying anybody in boxing is overrated, okay? I'm not impressed with what happened with Herrera. I'm not impressed with what happened with Guerrero. I'm not impressed with what happened with Paulie Malignaggi. I think it took him 9 or 10, and Shawn got him out of there in 3 or 4. I'm not impressed with what he did with Lamont. Lamont could have just as easily got that decision. What he did with Keith Thurman stunk. It was a horrible, to me, it was a horrible performance on his behalf. I mean, literally, there was a point, I remember him saying in the fight, he put his hands out, was like, come on, fight me. Well, you got to be able to cut the ring off as well as fight. And if you can't cut the ring off, then this guy is going to outbox you, and that's what I thought Keith did. I wasn't impressed with any of those fights from him. So, no, I have not studied him, even though I have actually sat ringside at the Thurman and Garcia fight. By the 4th round, going into the 5th, the fans were booing. So it's not easy. He hasn't impressed me. So, I'll probably go study and see things that I haven't seen, live on tape and see, okay, yeah, we got to work for this and we got to watch out for that and we got to prepare for this. But, no, I'm not impressed.
Since his last fight, how have you seen improvements, and where do you think Shawn can still grow, in your opinion?
Oh, he's always got things to improve on. My main thing with Shawn has always been not to rely on athletic ability. Basics and fundamentals and strategy is what I want him to work on and to rely on. So we're still working on that with him. We're still, until the day he's done, we're going to still work on the basics, the fundamentals, and try to get him to, look for that fight where he can do these things and go back and look at the tape and be impressed that he was able to stay in that mode for the entire fight. He did it for 11 to 11 and a half rounds with Adrian Bronner. But then there was a mental lapse. He actually, if you saw the fight, if you go back and look at the tape, he actually saw the punch coming, looked at the punch coming, and basically said, oh, shit. Well, if you have time to say, oh, shit, you got time to throw your hand up, or you got time to duck the punch. But his focus wasn't there. So if you go back over there and look at that picture on that wall, it says focus. And that's what's necessary for him to improve everything he's doing, he's got to focus.
From here on out, what's going to be the focus in camp in preparation for this fight?
Well, that'll be one of the main things, focus. But getting better, at sparring. He's been sparring, but we need more rounds. We need more guys that can come in here and push him. Like I said, I got some guys in here doing some good work right now, but we're going to be cranking it up every week. So they're going to have to crank it up every week. And that's what we'll be working on. And then at some point here in the next couple of weeks, there'll be a strategy that we put together for him. But I think it's mainly about making sure he can do all the things I want him to do. Because that's a lot for Danny to have to deal with. I think it is. He's got to deal with a guy that's aggressive. He's got to deal with a guy that's fast. He's got to deal with a guy that's strong. He's got to deal with a guy that can move. He's got to deal with a guy that has the ability to get in on the inside and really work hard and never get tired. So he's got a lot to deal with.
He's said in various interviews that he wants to stand in there and fight.
Of course he does, because he knows he can't catch up to Shawn. He knows his feet.
So when you hear him say that, you think
he knows his feet will never get nowhere near Shawn's. He couldn't get nowhere near Lamont Peterson, and he couldn't get anywhere near Keith Thurman when they moved on him. So he's got a problem with his footwork, and it's a little too late to get some feet now. So he wants to try to goad somebody into doing that. But yes, we're going to fight him in the middle, and we're going to fight him in the corner, and we're going to fight him on the ropes. We're going to fight his ass in the locker room. We're going to fight him on the way to Philadelphia, on the toll booth, whatever it takes. We're fighting. Yeah.
All right, Ken, I can't anymore. I'm sweating. I've already lost like 5 pounds here. I can't lose anymore. Hey, Ken, thank you so much. I really appreciate it here with Ken Porter here at the Porter High Performance Training Center. Hot Performance. Porter Sauna Performance Training Center here in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV.